What's up, guys? I'm gonna try and do this video all day because I'm bored, but customers keep coming in because, as you can see behind me here, I'm at work. Doing videos at work is kind of hard because people don't stop coming in. They don't come in for an hour and a half, and then I try and do a video, and somebody comes in. Gotta have the do, bro. Love that stuff. Probably gonna kill me though. Um, so today we're gonna talk about the Royal Hunter. Um, This thing does not get the credit that it deserves, like at all. Um, Most videos I've watched, it's people like, you know, saying it doesn't have enough airflow, or saying that the honeycomb chuff top, wide bore top, whatever you want to call it, everybody calls it different names in the vape world. But to me, it's a wide bore chuff top. Well, everybody seems to be saying different things. Most people say either it doesn't have enough airflow, or the chuff top with the honeycomb design doesn't work at all, or whatever, blah, 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 blah. This thing is fantastic. When I first got it, I wasn't too sure about it because the airflow is a tiny bit restricted. And I'm used to just these wide bore things, like the mini haze with these big gigantic slots, the Doge, if anybody knows what that is, or just getting things like Patriot V1s and V2s and IGO Ws and drilling these big gigantic holes in them to cloud chase with. I'm not used to restricted airflow unless I'm using a tank, a sub tank. But the airflow, honestly, is almost exactly where I feel like it should be for an RDA like this. I have a build in here and I'm at work. I don't have the box or any of the tools that I need to take this thing apart and mess with it. Well, I mean, I have them. I don't feel like doing it right now. But you have this really nice, deck. It's not the deepest, doesn't have the deepest juice well, but it's got 4 posts. The holes, if you can see that, are quite big. I have dual 26 gauge parallels in here. I think I did 9 wraps. But this thing, I mean, it works really well. The sleeve is just, real simple. It's got a little cutout on the inside, if you can see that, so it can sit flush on your top. It's got this nice RH engraving on it. I believe this sleeve is brass. Can't get that to focus. Let's try. See, it says RH on it in a goldish color. I believe it's brass because there's that little cutout right there on the inside, and it looks like brass. It smells like brass and vape juice. And then you have this brass top with AFC, airflow control, and one O-ring to hold it on, which the O-ring could be tighter. It's not as tight as it could be. I mean, it moves with ease, but it's not loose, and I like that. I do. I like that. It could be a teeny bit tighter, but I like that. So you have one ridge for single coil and 2 ridges for dual coil airflow. So, like most RDAs, if one side is open, the other side is exactly the same, and as you close it off, so on, so forth. Or you can do, close it all the way, or you can do single coils. Now, one side is open, one side is not. I have my own drip tip on here, and it usually, see, this is just a Darwin adapter, pops in and out, like so. It's just press fit. This is the 510 adapter. No, most people use it with that wide bore honeycomb deal. I've been using it with my own drip tip lately, so this guy just pops right in there. Getting juice everywhere. You know, and then you just pop your drip tip on and you're good to go. I'm using a Brass and Delrin Dot Mod drip tip because these things are fucking sweet, dude. So yeah, like most RDAs, you just line up your holes with your coils and you're good to go. There's only two things really that I don't like about this RDA. One of them being, I mean, again, this is subjective to everybody has their own opinion about this. When you're using the honeycomb top, you cannot drip juice in the top because that honeycomb catches it all. And then if you try and hit it like that, you get a big old bunch of juice in your mouth. And if you try and blow it through, it doesn't work the greatest. It kind of just moves it away and up, which is not what you want. And then you get a lot of juice in your mouth. And I don't like dripping juice in small wide bore tips like that. If you can even see that. I'm going the wrong way. See, I mean, it's real nice and wide bore. But I feel like when I drip juice like that, I get it in the 510. Not the 510, I'm sorry, in the drip tip. And then I can kind of get little splashes in my mouth. So I have to, when I want to drip, I have to grab the AFC ring and actually pop it off. And then throw my juice in there this way. And then close it back up. It doesn't really bother me personally. I'm used to just having these big giant chuff tops on there where I can just dump juice in, you know, straight from the top. I just got juice everywhere. I don't have to mess with AFC rings too much or anything like that. But with this guy, you can't really, I mean, because with the honeycomb top, it looks like a honeycomb and it's kind of domed out on the inside. And what happens is why people say it doesn't work, they're wrong. It does work. It's just not as efficiently as you would think. When you hit it and you get splashback or juice gets pulled up off from the sides, instead of getting it in your mouth, it gets caught in that little honeycomb. What people don't understand, which is those people that say it does not work, what they don't understand, maybe they do understand, but they don't say it, is that once those empty honeycomb spaces, once the empty spaces on the honeycomb get full of juice, it has to go somewhere. And that somewhere is not down. What'll happen is it'll get full, and then you'll go and you'll hit it, and you'll suck all that juice out, and get a little bit of juice in your mouth. So what you have to do is, when I'm using the honeycomb top, every 4 hours or so, I'll take it and either run it through some water and shake all the excess water off, or I'll just put it on like a piece of paper towel or something, or a cloth, and let it pull all that juice out of the honeycomb top. And that way I don't get any juice in my mouth, which again is subjective. I don't mind it, some people might. But before that happens, for that 4 or 5 hour period, depending on how much you're hitting it, before all those empty spaces get full of juice, you don't get any splashback. You don't get any juice in your mouth. It condenses the vape going through those holes, going through the honeycomb. It condenses your vape into this really nice, thick, dense, flavorful vape. And I like that because that way I can still get the clouds that I want, but I get to save a little bit of the flavor due to the honeycomb top. This thing's really easy to build on. The post holes, if you could see it when I showed you earlier, they're huge. The build deck is a good size. You know, I got some decently large coils in here. But I have no complaints about this thing. Yet, at least. And I've been using it for about a month. So I just pretty much wanted to say that this thing is great, especially on this Tesla 2. These Tesla 2s are sweet. It's on my other review. I'm passionate about this guy ever since this came out. But I have noticed, because when I first did the review, I'd only had it for about a week. I think it was about a week. But what I've noticed is there's a lot of battery drop, voltage drop, battery life dies off, battery sag, lag, whatever you want to call it. Everybody's confused. But it's rated at 100 watts. It says on the bottom down here. 4,000 mAh, 4.2 volts, 40 amps, max rating power 100 watts. Well, I fully charged this thing through a 0.16 ohm build on it, fully charged, put on a voltmeter, did the math, and I was pushing 132 watts fully charged. Within about a half hour, it dropped down to about 120. About a half hour, 45 minutes after that, it dropped down to about 100, and it stayed a consistent 60 to 100 watts for about 5 hours, and then it stayed roughly in between 60 and 75 watts until the remainder of the battery life. And the battery life on these things is, depending on how much you use them, it's pretty long. I mean, I use this thing practically all day. As you can see, it performs really well. Right now it's fully charged. You know what? I'm going to show you what it can do. I'm using 3 milligram Max VG caramel pear. Pears drizzled in caramel. That's actually what it tastes like, surprisingly. Well, check it out. There's no chuff on here. It's a standard 510 drip tip. .19, I think is what my ohm reader was saying. Nothing special. All it is 26 gauge, parallel, dual parallel, and I think I did 9 wraps. And the vapor production is on point. The flavor is on point. This RDA, the Royal Hunter, is on point. I'm doing this mainly because I just wanted to tell you how I feel about it. Not only that, but the Mini just came out. They released it at ECC about 2-3 weeks ago now, I think is when ECC was. I can't remember the exact date. I'm sorry, I'm watching the window because I'm at work. I gotta make sure nobody didn't come in. And ever since the Mini came out, I've been trying to find one. And I mean, these things are mass produced. An authentic RDA for 40 bucks, depending on where you go, but averaging out about 40 bucks in price. So these things are mass produced. They make a lot of them at a time. And within 3 weeks, the Mini was gone. It's sold out. I still can't find it anywhere. I'm checking online every day, multiple websites, 7, 8, 9 websites, all the local shops here in Phoenix, Arizona, which is where I am. I cannot find it anywhere. And all the people that have them, they're not moving. Well, maybe I'll come back and rant later. But I'm just saying, if you want a good RDA that's decently priced, it's authentic, and will work really well for an all-day vape, the Royal Hunter might be for you. I'm going to make another video probably in about 20 minutes from now. I'm going to talk about some of my favorite mods, my favorite modder, some of the stuff that I like about it, some of the stuff I don't like about it. I'm going to tell you about it because it's really good stuff that nobody seems to do reviews about. So, until we meet again, vape on.